Athletics have similar recent past, having dominated their divisions in the 70s. But as the two met in Baltimore this weekend, the only thing they had in common was the game they were playing. Certainly not the way they'd been playing it. Oakland, of course, on a tear, while the Baltimore Orioles still continue to struggle. Bottom of the second, Mickey Tettleton against his former teammates here sends this one deep to left. It's gone. His first home run as an Oriole, and the game's all tied up at 1 apiece. Top of the fourth, A's up 2-1. Mark Williamson facing Mark McGuire. And McGuire just clobbers this one to center field. Give it a look, Fred Lynn, but it's gone 3-1 for the A's. Top of the fifth, Williamson tries his luck with Walt Weiss. The rookie shortstop gets his first major league home run, and it's now a 4-1 lead for the A's. And does this team have power? Watch Canseco go after this curveball, which hangs over the plate. This one sent way back to left and gone. The A's win it 7-4. The Orioles have now lost 31 games. That's the most ever lost to this point in a season. 7-4 is the final. Canseco and McGuire, 10 home runs each already. They take 2 of 3 from the Orioles. In Kansas City, the Texas Rangers, going after their 9th consecutive victory, we're facing the Kansas City Royals. Charlie Huff against Willie Wilson, who leads off, sends this one to right. It goes back and gone. His first home run of the year, 1-0 for the Royals. Then in the third inning, Danny Tartabull. And Tartabull sends it to left. The bases are loaded as he goes after the knuckler and gets it. 5-0 for the Royals on this grand slam. 5-4, however, is the way the game ends up, as they have to hang on. Willie Wilson is 4 for 4, and Texas' 8-game winning streak comes to a close. In Detroit, the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Third inning, scores tied at 1. Jack Morris against Kent Hrbek, and Hrbek gets a fastball to his liking into the upper deck, and the Twins take a 3-1 lead, and Jack Morris is grabbing back for the pitch, but it's gone. He wishes he could have this one back as well. Randy Bush in the fourth gets this one. Almost looks like it went off the fist, but it's got enough power to get out at Tiger Stadium into the upper deck, 4-2 for the Twins. The next batter is Gene Larkin. And Morris tosses this one inside and catches him off the batting helmet, the right side. Larkin lays motionless for several seconds, and Morris looked on. He had to be carried off on a stretcher, appeared to be conscious. He's being held at the hospital for observation, and apparently will be all right. The Twins win the game 10-2. Twins get 5 home runs in the game. Frank Viola picks up his 5th consecutive victory. He's given up just 7 earned runs in the last 38 2/3 innings.
Whatever team that is, they're providing Big Apple fans with better than .650 baseball. Today it was the Yankees' turn at home on Beach Towel Day, and fittingly, a team that could use them 12 months of the year, California, was the guest at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the fourth, the Yankees in the middle of a 3-run inning as Mike Pagliarulo with a base hit off Chuck Finley to right center field. Jack Clark will come around to score, and it's 3-0 Yanks. They lead at 4-0 in the sixth when Brian 10 Downing Street, who in his 15-year career had never homered in Yankee Stadium until Friday night, had one Friday, had one Saturday, had one today. 3 homers, 3 days, it's 4-2. In the bottom of the seventh, boom! Claudell Washington with 2 on. Pinch hit 3-run shot, and there go those towels, 7-2 Yanks. After Clark walks, boom! Dave Winfield sends him back. Now look by the monuments. Look at that tree. Well, it is the Bronx. It's doing well to grow there. At any rate, the Yankees on a 5-run seventh go on to beat the California Angels 9-2 as Charles Moscow on the Hudson goes the route with a 4-hitter. He's been starting while Rhodes has been down on the DL. Hudson now 4-1, and you can see that the Yankees, after 36 games, it's their best start since 1958. At Milwaukee, the Brujas snapped a 5-game losing streak, beat the Tribe 9-5, who had won 5 in a row going in. Joey Meyer, not the DePaul coach, but the DH of the Brujas, a 2-run homer. Yount had a homer. Joe Carter, 2 homers, a triple for the Indians, but they lost it. At Fenway, Mariners at the Red Sox. Mark Langston struck out 16 on Tuesday, struck out 1 in 6 innings today. Todd Benzinger for the Red Sox singles to left. Dwight Evans scores. Mike Greenwell will try and score. Yeah, he's safe, and the Red Sox lead at 4-0 after 2. Dick Williams, first managerial job was with the Sox in the 60s. Watched his Mariners rally when Mike Greenwell cannot handle this ball by Scott Bradley down the left field line. 2 runs will score. The Mariners lead at 6-4. Bottom of the 8th, Julio Schoolyard Solano with the delivery to Ellis Burks. And with the bases loaded, look what happens in the outfield. Yay! Mickey Brantley lets it go through. Benzinger, Cerrone, Reed, they all score. We are tied at 7. Stay that way to the top of the 9th. Lee Smith on in relief. The Hound Dog, Jim Presley with a shot up the middle. Mike Kingery scores. Then Dave Death Valley followed with a 2-run triple. The Mariners added a 4th run, all after Smith struck the first 2 guys out in the 9th. And Seattle, with a 4-run ninth at Fenway, beat the Red Sox 11-7. It was a thriller for Mike Jackson to win in relief. He is 1-1. The Jays at the Chi Sox. And some fans will do anything for a baseball. There it is, and we'll do the old wheelbarrow race. Well, at any rate, ninth inning, the Jays trailing 3-1. But Kelly Gruber, with a single to the left, ties the game. 2-run score. We're tied at 3. In the 10th, the Jays go ahead against Bill Long. Lloyd Mosby sends Dan Pasqua back. He can't get it. One hopper off the wall. Liriano scores. Fernandez scores. It's 5-3 Toronto. But in the bottom of the 10th inning against Tom Henke, it's supposed to be automatic, right? Well, not this year. Donnie Blueberry Hill with a base hit to right. Jesse Barfield will throw to try and get Yvonne Bubbling called a run, but it's not a time. We're tied at 5. And in the 11th, Mark Eichhorn is on. And 2 days ago, Dave Gallagher was in the minors. Today, he's a hero in Chicago. Dave Gallagher, home run, 11th inning. And so Henke and Eichhorn cannot get the job done. And Toronto falls in 11 at Chicago, 6-5. Darrell, please come to Boston, and Harold Baines also homer to the game for the Palehose.
The Jays, certainly a tough team to figure out early this season.
It looks like bad court.
But the Giants didn't seem impressed. In games 1 and 2, allowing New York just 4 runs, and then looking for the sweep this afternoon. Giants on the board early, first inning. Kevin Mitchell homers to left field against his former teammates. A 2-run shot. Mitchell's 6th of the year. Giants on top 2-0. That would be enough to stand up. Defensive play of the game here. Tuffle hits a sinking liner. Kendi Maldonado just reaches down above his shoes and makes the grab. That ended the Mets' 7th inning. This was perhaps the undefensive play, if that's a word. 7th inning, Thompson with the fly ball. Strawberry can't find it in the sun. It drops over top of his glove. Joel Youngblood scores from first base. Thompson ends up at third. And San Francisco pulls out the broom and sweeps the Mets this weekend. 5-1 is the final. The Mets scoring just 5 runs in the 3 games and lose 3 straight for the first time this year. Mike Lacoste, his first win in over a month. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Second inning, Rafael Belliard. Back to Danny Jackson, who throws wildly to home plate. Milligan and Cole score. The ball bounces away 3-0 for the Pirates. 6th inning, 5-4 Pirates. Scott Medvin facing Chris Sabo, who singles out to left. Leo Garcia and Cal Daniels score 6-5 for the Reds. Then bottom of the 8th, Bonilla on third. It's tied at 6. Jose Rio on the mound. Now, is this a balk? First base umpire Bruce Fremming overrules the home plate umpire who called the balk. Jim Leland can't believe it. He's furious. The winning run would have come in. Top of the 12th, Eric Davis on third. Diaz with the fly ball to left. Bonds with a great catch. But Davis tags up and comes in and scores, and the Reds win 7-6. Franco allowed just 1 hit over 3 innings to pick up the victory in this one as Cincinnati wins at 7-6. Montreal and San Diego. Andy Hawkins with his 4th win. Davis picks up his 4th save. San Diego wins a squeaker 2-1 over the Expos.
The Los Angeles Dodgers continue to surprise out west. Now, we all knew that they had some serious pitching. They always have. Fernando, Hershiser, and some name relievers in Jay Thurston, B. Howell, and Jesse Orozco. But the difference so far has been the Tim Belchers of the staff, who go out and throw complete games and win. Today against the Phillies, one of the named pitchers, Fernando Valenzuela, can't believe the hitting the Dodgers have been getting lately. With the bases loaded in the 4th, Kirk Gibson with a smash to right. Chris James just doesn't play it right. Socha scores. Fettuccine Alfredo Griffin will score. And Mike Davis will score. It's 4-0 Dodgers. Then later in the inning against the reliever Danny 100 pounds of clay. Pedro Guerrero with the shot to left. It's gone for a 2-run shot. And the Dodgers, with 7 runs in the 4th, continue to roll. They beat the Phillies this afternoon in L.A. by a 9-2 count. Steve Alto Sachs was 3 for 5. But the big story, Tim Belcher goes the route, 6-hitter, 8 strikeouts. He is now 3-1. At the Dome, the Cubs and the Stros in a pitcher's duel. Bottom of the 4th inning, rather top of the 4th, Jerry Mumphrey with a double off Danny Theory Darwin. It's Agapa. Rafael Palmeiro will score. It's 1-0 Cubs. 2 men later, it's Vance Common Law at the plate. And he, too, goes to left field. Mumphrey will score. And it's 2-0 Cubs behind Rick Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe would be touched for only 1 run. Here he gets Alan Ashby with 2 out in the 9th to fly to center field. And Rick Sutcliffe, 4th complete game of the year on a 5-hitter. Evens his mark at 3-3 as Chicago wins in the Dome 2-1. Braves at the Cards. Pick it up in the 9th with the Cards leading 5-4. But, boom, Gerald Perry sends one Back, and it is gone. A two-run shot off Todd. We are the Worrell, and the Braves lead at 6-5. Bottom of the ninth. Ozzie Smith will bunt. Bruce three-piece shooter. Nice pitch. Bad throw. You know, they can throw it to the plate at 95 miles an hour. They can't lob it to first. Smith goes to second base. After a walk to Bob Horner, Tony Jalapena with a shot off the leg of Suter. Thomas they can't get it. Goes in the outfield. Ozzie scores. Tied at 6. Then bases loaded, 2 out. Me and Willie McGee with the old 5-iron. And it's the base hit. And the Cards pick up 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. What a wild week they've had. More on that in a moment as St. Louis wins it over Atlanta 7-6.
And for those of you who've been watching this baseball season for everyone's favorite rule enforcement, the Bach, here's an update. A new single-season record was set last night in the season's 6th week. After 1987, 41 days it took to get to 92 balks. This year, 357 balks after the same number of games. The historic moment took place in St. Louis, as Chris was talking about moments ago. Rick Mailer charged with the 357th of the year, more than were called in all of 1987. But here's the interesting part. Top of the 18th, that's infielder Jose Aquindo on the mound for the Cardinals. He pitched four innings, surrendering only 4 hits. It was 5-5 as he gets Dale Murphy here in the double play. On to the 19th inning, Ken Griffey. The double to left. Deion James scores. Murphy around third scores as well as the Braves win it 7-5. And Aquindo becomes the first non-pitcher in 20 years since Rocky Calavito, who did it for the Yankees, to get a decision. I recall Todd Cruz a few years ago pitched for the strong arm, real tough arm. But when you throw like this, your elbow only lasts for about 10 minutes.
Box scores like these you love. I remember Dave Kingman, when he was a youngster with the Giants, used to pitch a few times mop-up with the Giants, and there are several players who have had outings like that. But did you see the left fielder on that winning hit? That was Jose De Leon. They ran out of everybody last night. And Tudor pinch hit for him later on in the game. What a week for the Cardinals. 13-12 game, a 14 inning with the Giants, 19 last night.
But the leaders in the East were not about to let the Western doormats win this series. The Yankees are playfully having fun. They're scoring more runs than anyone in the hemisphere, over 213 runs, and getting them every which way. Gary Ward splintering his bat in a productive 4th inning. Ricochets it off the wall. Rookie Jay Buhner comes in. They scored 4 times and took a 4-0 lead. Charlie Hudson was magnificent. He has come to the front since picking up the slack for the injured Rick Rhoden. Pitched a 4-hitter. The Yanks nursing a 4-2 lead when things fall apart for Cookie Rojas Angels. He brings in Willie Frazier. Billy Martin counters with Claudell Washington, and Washington deposits it into the center field bleachers. A 3-run pinch hit homer. But the encore was even more spectacular. Dave Winfield hits it into the monuments and had to admire it himself. Winfield is hitting .403, has 36 RBI. He's doing everything right as the Yanks win it 9-2, their best start since 1958. The only negative for New York, the second leading hitter in the American League, Don Slaught, on the disabled list, called up to take his place, Bob Guerin. He'll be out 15 days. At County Stadium, the Brewers broke out of a 5-game losing streak by snapping the Indians' 5-game winner and knocks Cleveland 2 out. Robin Yount's homer tied the club's all-time RBI record. Detroit was in the Motor City this afternoon before going on to Milwaukee, hosting the Twins. And Kent Herbeck continues to unload on pitching. Jack Morris, the victim of one of 2 home runs. Herbeck has the American League lead with the 2 this afternoon with 11. The next batter paid the price. Morris, who likes to pitch inside, came in high to Gene Larkin, knocked him down, knocked him out. But Larkin left the field conscious and eventually, after a trip to the hospital, returned to leave the city with the team. So Larkin apparently will be all right. They got a complete game from Straker, by the way. Frank Viola has won 5 straight. At Fenway, what would have been a pitcher's duel, but Mark Langston and Bruce Hurst long since gone when the Red Sox open it up, down 7-4. Mickey Brantley overruns Ellis Burke's single. Couple of runs score, and the Red Sox tie the game as he clears the bases, 7-7. John McNamara with a smile figures Lee Smith can knock it down, but Smith blew the lead. Then Dave Valley blew it open. Ellis Burke's chasing and trying to tackle the ball, never gets to it. As Presley and Brantley score, Valley with a stand-up triple. The Mariners score 4 times in the 9th off Lee Smith, and they snap a 4-game losing streak. Boston hosts Oakland. The Mariners go on to Yankee Stadium starting this week.
And Arlington, where the Texas Rangers went for a club record 9th straight win. Been playing great ball, haven't they? The Texas Rangers. Fun to watch these days as they're winning all these games. Kansas City in town trying to avoid being swept this weekend. Charlie Huff got roughed up and then touched up by Danny Tartabull Grand slam home run for Tartable in the top of the third to make it 5-0 Kansas City, and that's the way it went all afternoon, though. Texas mounted a comeback, got a little bit heated. Pete Incaviglia didn't think that was strike three, but the first base umpire said, you went around, and Pete was none the least bit happy with the call, nor himself. He took it out on the bat, and then verbally took it out on some of the people who were not in the dugout with the bat. Bottom of the seventh, the Royals' lead was tenuous, down to 5-4, bases loaded. Gino Petralli, though, bounces back to Gene Garber, who comes home, gets one under first, and it is 2 double play. Gene Garber in another sterling relief appearance. Boy, he's been great since Kansas City picked him up. And the Royals hold on to snap the win streak of the Texas Rangers. Texas falls to third place, and now 7.5 games behind the A's, because in Baltimore, Oakland playing long ball, it's Mark McGwire. It is gone. Kind of a replay of yesterday when he had a 3-run home run. Today, a solo shot, his 10th of the year. Even Walt Weiss, the young shortstop that they're so high on, cranked one, turned on it, and hit it into the stands, his first Major League home run. And that was sandwiched between McGwire and Jose Canseco, not to be outdone by his teammate. He launched his 10th home run. Look at this thing, this cannon shot, as the A's bomb Baltimore. Dennis Eckersley watches reaction on the strike three to Cal Ripken, said, yeah, I got him. You better know it. The Eck picked up, look at this, save number 13 on the year already for Eckersley. A's beat Baltimore. Orioles now 5-31. The A's simply running away with the AL West. Oakland's closest competition right now, the White Sox. Rookie Dave Gallagher slugged his first Major League home run in the 11th inning off Mark Eichhorn as the Sox moved to 2 games over 500.
Now to the National League, and the story in San Francisco was sweep. The East-leading Mets were on the edge of getting blanked by the Giants in a series for the first time since 1983. And Darryl Strawberry has an O shaved into his head because that's how many hits he had for the weekend. His former teammate Kevin Mitchell victimizes Sid Fernandez in the very first inning. A 2-run shot to break a scoreless tie, the Giants on top. Mike Lacoste was on top of his game, and on top of the Mets, got some great defensive support as well. 7 strikeouts through 7 innings, and then this play by Candy Maldonado off the shot by Tim Tuffle comes diving in to make the grab and keep the Mets at bay. Bottom of the 7th with a man on, 4-1, as Maldonado showed you how to play right field in Candlestick. Darryl Strawberry shows you how not to. The wind and the sun play havoc. They get out the brooms in Candlestick and start chanting, Darryl, Darryl. And he actually liked it. He started conducting the crowd himself, but he's happy to get out of San Francisco as the Mets were held to 5 runs over the weekend as San Francisco wins its first series of the season. At Three Rivers, the Pirates failed for the 2nd straight day to pull into a first-place tie, while the Reds are now at 500. 93,000 came to the stadium this weekend. It's the largest 3-day draw in 8 years at Three Rivers. At Busch Stadium, another wild one. Less than 12 hours after they finished that 5.5-hour marathon Saturday night, the Braves and Cards going at it again, and great defense by Vince Coleman, who didn't seem tired on that play, robbing Andres Thomas, giving the Cards, keeping their 4-3 lead, but it's tied at 6 in the bottom of the 9th when Kurt Ford gets nailed in the rundown. The winning run gets caught up. Willie McGee, though, on to pinch hit, and he does reach Bruce Sutter, drops it into the left field. Tony Pena scores, and the Cards pull out a 7-6 victory despite a 2-run homer by Gerald Perry that had given the Braves the lead in the 9th.
First versus last to the floundering Phillies, limping through a weekend series in Los Angeles. Boy, the Phils are having all kinds of trouble, aren't they? And that's Fernando Valenzuela going to a party, inviting his friends, people like Kirk Gibson, who, with LA up 3-0 in the 4th, tagged one and cleaned the bases. They were full. It went over Chris James' head. Mike Scioscia, Alfredo Griffin, Mike Davis all score. 21 ribbies already for Gibson this year. It's 6-0 Dodgers. On Danny Clay's next pitch, it was 8-0. Pedro Guerrero launched one, a 2-run shot, and it was all Dodgers. The next play summed up the Phillies' frustration. Alfredo Griffin comes up, pops a little flare down the first base side. Von Hayes seems to have it in tow, but then again, nothing the Phils do seems to be in tow this year. Dodgers starter Tim Belcher got some help. Watch this. The Chris James snare by Mike Marshall to, Alfredo Griffin, and then back to Marshall for probably the most unusual first 3-6-3 double play you'll see all year. Dodgers thus move 9 games over 500. The Phils fall 9 games under 500. At the Astrodome, the Cubs in town trying to avoid the sweep, and Andre Dawson sitting on the bench. Scoreless in the 4th, Cubs with the runner on second. Jerry Mumphrey going the other way, slicing it into the gap in left center. He gets through everybody, rolls to the wall. Billy Hatcher, Rafael Palmeiro score. It's between Young and Hatcher, rather. Palmeiro scores, and it's 1-0. Then Mumphrey was driven in on the very next play by Vance Law, and the Cubs led 2-0. but it was a tough day for the Astros. Couldn't get anybody into really scoring position. Dennis Mackey didn't agree with the call as Damon Berryhill threw out Gerald Young, and then Rick Sutcliffe bore down and struck out Glenn Davis as the Astros couldn't get much offensive anything against Sutcliffe, who for the first time this year wins a complete game. Houston thus loses, falls 2.5 back of L.A. Meanwhile, in San Diego, Shea Mack's RBI single in the 7th scored Benito Santiago as the Padres completed a weekend sweep of the Expos. In 3 games, Montreal scored only 4 runs. Get the feeling they took the rabbit out of the ball this year a little bit?
Expos are really starting to struggle.
Oh, man.
That's baseball. We got more of baseball in play and losing. Case in point, Arlington, Texas. Bill Buckner, not the fastest of foot, trying his hand as a body part, but beat Gino Petralli, blocking the plate with his foot and preventing the run, to the consternation of Buckner. But the Royals had their own fancy sleight of hand. If the mitt doesn't work, pick it up and throw it barehanded. Gene Garber making the out.